It's good to see you both again. I think we got off to a great start last week with our first session. Now I know this is hard for you. I know this has been hard for you. I know you probably think that this counseling is just a waste of your time. I know you've been working on your relationship for a long time now, and I know you both have been dealing with a lot of stress lately with the move and setting up new lives here. That alone can create a tremendous amount of turmoil even in the healthiest of relationships. It's easy to allow things to build up over time and, if left unexpressed, can turn into dire and irrevocable situations for everyone. So what we'll try to do here is create a safe environment where each of you can take turns sharing your anger, your pain, your needs, and your wants. I encourage the speaker to come from honesty without blame and say exactly what's in their heart. I encourage the listener to really try and put aside any desire to edit or control and truly hear what the other person is saying. Even if you don't really get it or understand it, I want you to try, okay? I'm going over your history with my colleague, Dr. Himmerman, and I see that your sessions with him back in San Francisco dealt with a variety of perfectly normal yet complex issues. But the one that seems to offer the most contention and cause the greatest amount of pain is...
sex. Just what does that mean to you? What does that feel to you, sex? What does it mean to you when it's done to you, sex? How do you force him to stop coming after you? How do you feel about, what do you think about sex? What are you looking for? What makes you horny and what makes you want to have sex? How do you please and get any pleasure from sex? What do you do? Do you do what you did with your ex? Is that how you have to have sex? How do you know if you're doing it right? How can you ask for it night after night? Is it fine and acceptable just being polite during sex? There's nothing more vexing than sex.
Okay, good. Tyler, you bring up some interesting points. I think we can all agree that when it comes to sex, there is a lot of confusion and frustration for both partners. But the more we can open up and express what's really going on inside, the easier it'll be to break through to a healthier and more meaningful relationship. Now I want to go to Mark and find out what all this means to him and what he thinks about...
sex. What doesn't it mean to me? It's the world to me, sex. Why isn't everyone having it constantly, sex? Why are we doing it intermittently? Why don't you want it and why don't you care about sex? What else should I think about? Why are you asking me what else is better than sex? Answer me please whenever I want to have sex. What do? You constantly bring up my ex. Is that why you hate having sex? The problems we're facing are not black and white, but I go to bed with my hand every night. What do you do when your lover's uptight about sex? There's nothing more vexing than, or perplexing than sex.
Good. Now I want you to try to look inside the eyes of each other and try to tell each other all that you've heard without judgment or comment, and yes, without questioning why. Can we give it a try?
Yes.
You're saying you're jealous of me.
What?
Well, that's what I think, and that's what I said. You're jealous of me.
Right.
Well, that's what I hear, and that's what I see. You couldn't live like you do unless you're depending on me.
You're getting a little off track here, guys.
You're angry and threatened and spiteful and bitter and jealous of me. Financially.
You're saying I'm jealous of you?
Yes.
I'm angry and bitter and spiteful and threatened and jealous of you?
That's what I said.
Guys.
Well, here's what I hear and here's what I see. You wouldn't know what to do spending one day away from me. You'd wither and die in a hole of your own insecurity, metaphorically. Well, I'm not your ex and I'm not your dad. I'm simply the partner that you never had.
Guys, let's keep it respectful.
Well, here's what I see.
Well, here's what I hear.
Well, here's what you say.
And here's what you do.
And here's what I want.
what
And
I
here's
want,
what I
and
need.
here's what
And
I
here's
need,
what you
and here's
want.
what you
And here's
want,
what you
and
need.
here's what I
And here is the trouble. You know what your problem is.
Well, here's what I know, and here's what I see. You're stuck in a cycle of pain and deep-rooted anxiety. But these can be healed with extensive behavioral therapy. And if you both agree, by accepting responsibility existentially, we might just be able to work on this out. But for now, let's conclude by resharing our thoughts about
Sex.
Yes.
Is that what we're living for?
Or dying for.
Sex.
Is it worth fighting for?
Or lying for?
It's hard to stay true when the other neglects.
It's hard to provide what the other expects.
It's hard to disprove what the other suspects.
It's hard to avoid its destructive effects. There isn't a subject as cruel and complex.
There's nothing more vexing than
Sex.